first thing I'm going to do is to prepare my baby wool for braiding. I have some already prepared wool here, and this is from the time I got the first set of wool. I had thought I'd be able to braid my hair then, but it wasn't enough, so I'm going to go ahead and prepare my braiding wool. So this is what I'm going to be using to braid my hair. This is baby wool or yarn, and I'm using mustard color for these braids. I'm simply going to pick a few at a time to prepare, and I prepare them the same way we prepare thread in Africa. So I'm simply taking out 2 strands of wool to measure the length and prepare the fresh baby wool. So this is what I'm simply going to do. By preparing it the same way we prepare thread in Africa, the first thing you're going to do is to ensure that you find the ends of each wrap of baby wool where you can take apart the thread or the yarn and start winding it. By winding, I'm going to demonstrate in a few, but after you find the ends where the yarn ends, you are going to join all of the number of yarn you're going to wind at the same time together. I'm using 5 wraps of yarn for starters, so I've simply joined all the ends together to make it easy to wrap. Guys, you want to make sure that you wrap an even amount of yarn. The more yarn you wrap, the easier it becomes for the yarn to get tangled. So I'm simply going to be working with 5 wraps of yarn to control the way the yarn tangles as I unravel it. So this is what I'm simply going to do. I'm standing next to a door. I'm using my door because it will enable me to wind the yarn around the door handle and around my palms. And so I'm simply doing this based on how long I want my yarn braids to be, and this is the desired length that I'm achieving here by the door handle. So I'm simply going to repeat this process until all the wraps of yarn are unraveled, and then I'll proceed to cut and start braiding my hair with the yarn. So this is really all I'm going to do to prepare this yarn for use. It really is this easy, and as you continue to unravel your yarn, most of it is going to come undone, and also the yarn tends to get tangled at some point in time, but you can control all of that by watching the yarn wraps on the floor as you unravel. And then it also tends to become lax like it is looking now, but that is very normal. So there really isn't much you can do to control it, except, you know, gripping the yarn real tight and stretching it as far as you can. But simply for the length of hair you want to braid or twist, make sure that you give some extra room for your yarn to shrink a little bit, about 10-20% extra room for your yarn to shrink, and you should be good. Otherwise you're going to end up with yarn that is shorter than what you stretched, in spite of the fact that you stretched it out to the best of your ability. So I'm going to finish stretching my yarn, and then I'll proceed to start braiding my hair. So I'm done with the wrapping, and I'm simply going to cut this into 2. By the way, the total number of wraps of baby wool that I used to braid my hair was 24. There are 16 in a pack, so I had 16 for the pack I showed you guys, and the pre-stretched one was 8 wraps. Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. So this video has been a long time coming. I was supposed to pick a protective style and make it on my hair, but I kept procrastinating, and I'm finally going to be braiding my hair today. I am lazy, I'm already tired, but I'm going to do it anyway because my hair is suffering and I'm tired of wearing it like this. So I'm going to simply take down these 2 cornrows. I'm going to be making yarn braids today, and I already have a series of braid videos on my channel. I'm going to link all of them in the description box. Go ahead and click on any one that you think will please your eyes. I'm simply going to make box braids today. And without further ado, my hair is wet. It's about 50% dry. I had washed it a day before I made these braids, and somehow I thought they would dry in spite of the fact that I put them into 2 cornrows, which never dries in a day for me. So I'm simply going to take these down, and I did not pre-stretch my hair or anything because I had assumed that once these 2 braids dried up, my hair was going to be stretched enough for me to braid without needing to pre-stretch. But that was not the case, and I did not wait for my hair to dry. I simply went ahead to braid the way that it was. So I'm going to go ahead and braid my hair, guys. If you're new to my channel, please don't forget to subscribe, tap the bell so you'll be notified whenever I post new content. Go ahead and leave a comment in relation to this video in the section below, and give this video a thumbs up and share it out with people who are learning how to braid. For my braids, I'm going to do the simplest method possible. For box braids, there is nothing here that is serious. Everything is just really easy, and there is not much ado about these braids. I'm simply going to part my hair into boxes and go ahead and braid them using 20 strands of wool per section. So let's get right into it, guys. To make the job even easier for you, you can go ahead and prepare, or you can go ahead and divide your yarn into sections depending on the number of strands you want to use per section. So that's what I did here. I simply divided my hair into 20 strands per section for about 10 sections, and as I proceeded, as I advanced into the braiding, I prepared the strands of wool ahead of time, so that all I simply had to do was to pick the number of strands I needed for each section and start braiding, instead of counting out the number of strands I needed for each section before I started to braid the section. So I'm simply going to go ahead and braid, guys. Keep watching. Let me also quickly say that I started out these braids as knotless braids. I had thought that I would be able to start and finish knotless braids, but by the time I finished or started the first section, I realized that I did not have the patience and I was not about to sleep here, so I simply switched back to box braids. I also did not want that very scanty look that knotless braids give. I wanted my braids looking full and chunky, so I went ahead to try these knotless braids for one section, and when I was tired, I simply switched back to regular braids. At this point, I'm almost done. I had been braiding for about 2 to 3 hours between chores. I started off my braids, then I went to cook, and I did a bunch of things before I continued braiding. So these are what my braids look like, and they're actually turning out really nice. They are almost butt length. I'm going to go ahead and finish them up and then let you guys see what the results are. By the way, I kept the boxes as accurate as I could. I wasn't really using a mirror, but I tried to feel my way. These turn out really great, and I'm going to go ahead. So I'm done with the braids. The next thing that I'm going to do is to neaten the ends. I simply braided and knotted them first of all. I didn't finish up the braids before now, so I'm simply going to cut off the excess ends and then neaten them, and that one is really easy. All I'm going to do is to use some black rubber bands. Since I'm not going to burn my ends, I'm going to simply use these black rubber bands to tie the ends thrice, and then I'll cut off the excess. So that's pretty much what this step is about. And I'm done with that. This is what my ends are looking like. So it's the next day, and I had to go out and get some accessories. By the time I returned, it was too dark to continue filming. So it's the next day. I got some cute accessories. They're pretty regular here in Nigeria, but I'm simply going to attach these to my braids, and then I'll be done with this hairstyle. So I'm completely done with my braids. This is what the entire thing is looking like. They look really good, and I nailed them as usual. This is what the back looks like, and they're not quite even. I like them uneven in a way, but since they're not quite even and they don't look too bad, I can actually live with them. I like the little black bands at the end, and the fact that they are not burned, but they're just like a little fringe like at the end. So this turned out really good, and that's really all this video is about. Thank you guys so much for watching. Please forget not to subscribe, and to stay subscribed, go ahead and leave a comment in relation in the comment section, and then give this video a worthy thumbs up and share. Thank you guys. See ya.